Yeah.
However, Cindy, how many times in our physical wisdom do we let divine timing be?
Yeah, very rarely.
No,
Yeah.
very rarely.
Very rarely.
Because we worry.
Yes.
We get wind of fear.
Yeah.
We know best, so we take a different route.
Yeah.
Now, what we don't know is it may be back to Montana to get me here, okay?
Yeah, that would be a long way around.
Or we simply stop the car.
Right, or we stop the car. Yeah.
So because all this wonderful creating is divided by divine timing, we have the ability to not only elongate the possibility of creating it, we minimize the creation.
Okay, right. By trying to control it.
By trying to control it.
Right.
When they brought this in, when my angels brought this in that I was talking to, I swore to them I would never try to control another thing in my life.
Well, it's kind of like, I always think about like the traffic jam.
Yes.
Okay, so you're driving along, and all of a sudden, you're in a traffic jam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's nothing you can do.
No.
You turn on the radio, or whatever you like to listen to.
Right.
And you let go.
You let go.
Because you literally cannot do anything else. Now, some people freak out in a traffic jam, and there's all kinds of crazy behaviors.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can just kind of just surrender.
And enjoy a moment of peace or
it's
music.
It's like, oh, maybe this is the song I needed to hear right now.
Yes.
Maybe I need to take a deep breath. Because, and I always say to myself when I'm in a traffic jam, and if I feel like I'm needing to be somewhere and I'm not quite there yet, and I think, well, you know, I'll probably get there by, you know, nighttime.
Exactly.
You know, like so just to put myself into this space of, you know, probably 8 hours from now you'll be out of the traffic jam. It's really like a minute later, but it feels
right. It feels like forever.
So I just give myself the reality of, what are you making such a big deal out of it?
Perfect.
Because maybe there's something in this. Maybe I'm being protected from, maybe there's an accident down the way waiting to happen. Do I want to be involved in that? Or so learning to surrender, this is a concept I'd like to talk with you about, because it's very hard. I think especially for women who feel like they need to control a lot of things in their life because they have surrendered power a lot over the centuries. We've just actually stepped into a place where we can tap into our empowerment more. Well, now we don't want to let it go. So there's this fine line between control and surrender. So of course you can't surrender. You can't let everything just fall apart. That's not what we mean by surrender.
We don't mean that at all.
So let's talk about surrender, because I think it's such an important concept.
I will shift surrender to trust.
Okay.
I've yet to have my guides ask me to surrender. I've had them ask me to trust.
Yes.
And in the new book coming out, they give the value proposition for trusting.
Okay. You mean why it's worth it?
Why it's worth it.
To trust.
And I'll put it into just a real quick little synopsis of it. And again, when they brought this in, it took that word from a 4-letter word for me to a 5-letter word. Trust is about knowing that we can't know.
Okay, let's say that again.
Trust
is about
knowing that we can't know.
Because, of course, we don't really want to know everything. That would be way overwhelming. That would be too much.
And every time we think we know, doubt comes in, because there's a part of us that knows we don't know.
And we couldn't possibly know.
And that takes us into fear.
Okay. But then again, there is a knowingness
There
that
is
we have.
absolutely.
So these are things that are hard to talk about.
They are. There's a difference between a knowingness.
What it feels like.
What it feels like. It feels right.
Yeah, it feels...
That doesn't tell you the next step.
Right.
That tells you it feels right.
Okay, so this is the beautiful point. Being in the present moment. Also a big challenge for humans.
Isn't it
We're
awful?
thinking about the past and everything that happened and should have happened and could have happened and why did that happen.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
To, oh my God, what's going to happen? That's living in the future. That's everything but living in the moment. But when you live in the moment, and most of us have had moments of it.
Yes.
And we know how blissful we feel when we're in the moment of the present, and then we're able to trust because we're just feeling what is in that moment.
And I'll give you another value proposition for living in the moment.
Please.
When we live in the moment, our angelic guides, our higher knowing, can create the next best step for us.
I love that.
If we go into fear because we're in a free will universe, they necessarily must leave us in fear.
Yes. So
Because
this is
that's our
important
choice.
too. Angelic intervention is, from what I understand, they're never going to intrude.
No.
And in fact, you have to ask.
Yes.
Please come in and help. Please, I need guidance on this. Please, I need support, or whatever it is that you're asking. They're never going to intrude. It's not like you're invaded by your guidance, your angelic
correct.
guidance. They are co-creators, partners in trying to help you create the best possible path, journey for,
And
for
we're
yourself.
in the lead.
And we're in the lead the more we relax and surrender to the moment.
Right.
I just think we've just solved the questions of the universe.
Yes. Well, but it's just,
And it's a practice.
wonderful.
And
It
it's
is a practice.
And because we're not used to doing this,
No,
and
we're
this
not.
is not how we were raised, and this is really kind of out of the box thinking, even though it's when you do it, you know it because it feels good. It feels good. You feel safe, and you feel grounded, and you feel blissful.
Yes.
You feel blissful for
It
few moments
feels-
I've been able to do it.
It feels right.
Yeah, it feels right. Yeah.